An ITV News investigation into South Wales Fire Service a year ago exposed claims of sexual abuse and misogyny. The whistleblowers our UK editor Paul spoke to didn't just set alarm bells ringing, it triggered an independent review into the culture inside the service. Today, that inquiry produced its report and it is shocking. In a long list of failings, it condemns the service for tolerating sexist behaviour and attitudes, racism, homophobia and bullying in the workplace. In firefighters' lives out of work, it turns a blind eye to domestic violence, physical aggression and criminal behaviour. The man who oversaw this boys' club, as the service was described, Fire Chief Hugh Jakeway, has announced he is leaving his job, not resigning but retiring. That way he gets to keep his pension.
He'd find a way then to find me and expose himself.
I just don't think he should be allowed to be a place of safe haven for domestic violence victims when he's a domestic violence aggressor.
I was truly shocked and horrified what I heard on your news report last night.
We now know things weren't as bad as we reported. At South Wales Fire Service, they were in fact even worse. The heroics on the front line masking the horrors back at the station. In 185 pages of damning detail, today's report finds the service tolerates sexual harassment, domestic abuse, sexism, racism, homophobia, drug and alcohol abuse, even criminal conduct by firefighters. Specific findings include men sending pictures of their penises to more junior women, staff sharing revenge porn and posing naked on the website OnlyFans, and racism, including towards a 10-year-old boy, as well as urinating on the floor of a Chinese takeaway. All that behaviour permitted by a boys' club, according to the report, where nepotism dictates promotion, with a social circle around the chief fire officer nicknamed the Ski Masons. None of that would have been made public without Shirley forgoing her privacy.
What was your worry with all of it?
That he'd end up raping me.
A year ago, she told us she'd been sexually harassed by a firefighter while cleaning a Cardiff station.
How are you feeling?
Nervous,
Yeah.
but overwhelmed with the result.
Today, she is retired and relieved.
My mental health have been up and down, and it's been horrendous, to be quite honest, to think I had to go through another traumatic experience because no one would take any notice of me in the first place.
I know, Shirley, I know.
I've done it now. I've done it.
You have done it.
I have. And I can smile a little bit now, so I'll get on with my life, hopefully.
I'm Hugh Jakeway and I'm the Chief Fire Officer for South Wales Fire and Rescue Service.
Tonight, he's moving on with his life too. The Chief Fire Officer has quit. He wouldn't speak to me today, but was interviewed by ITV Wales.
I'm profoundly sorry for anyone that has experienced a negative behaviour. That is unacceptable. It is a time for a change in view and a change in vision and a change in leadership for the organisation. And that is the position and the where I find myself today.
But he'll be allowed to retire on full pension, which the Welsh Government say they'll look into.
The Chief Fire Officer was given a £12,000 pay rise while the review was ongoing. There's been no accountability here, has there?
Look, I think we need to consider this report in detail, meet with the Fire and Rescue Authority. Ordinarily, we would expect Fire and Authority members to show the leadership and hold management to account, and there may be a case in the future where that doesn't happen for government to become involved.
Today's report contains 82 recommendations. A service designed for emergencies must tonight attend to its own.
And Paul joins us now from Cardiff. I mean, it's hard to know to start with this report. It's shocking enough alone, but the other places that you've reported on, other services, paints a picture of a wider toxic culture to consider. What is being done about it?
Yeah, Julie, this is one of the worst reports I think I've ever read into a public service, but so too was the report into Dorset and Wiltshire Fire Service back in October following our investigation there. It found widespread misogyny and sexism again, and so was the report by the Inspectorate for England back in March of last year following our broader reporting across England. It found discrimination in every single English fire service. So I think the national issue here with the culture of fire services is very well established by this point. The question is what is going to be done about it, and there the focus now is on, I think, the way that fire services are held to account. They're supposed to be overseen by what are known as fire authorities, made up of local elected councillors, but we've seen very little evidence across England or Wales that those fire authorities really have any teeth. In Dorset and Wiltshire, they refused to engage with our investigation. They stood by the fire chief there despite the profound issues with that fire service. And here in South Wales, what have they done? Well, they've given the fire chief a huge pay rise right in the midst of an unprecedented crisis for his service. That pay rise only came last September. So again, a question about whether they've really got a grip on their service. And I understand tonight, behind the scenes, MPs are now pushing for potential reform of the wider fire sector. I think it's something that a Labour government, for example, may well be interested in. But I'll just leave you with this one thought, Julie. Today's review found that firefighters here have been routinely retired on full pension when they've been found guilty of misconduct or have performed poorly. And tonight, despite everything that's been uncovered, that is exactly what the Chief Fire Officer is hoping he'll be allowed to do too.